Hi, it's Joey Griggs of Obsidian Wisdom. Today we'll be answering the question, can I open both a 401k and a solo 401k? We're going to talk about what each of them are, whether you actually can open both of them, and we'll even talk about the contribution limits and some of the rules as far as they apply in helping you make an educated decision. Most entrepreneurs and families worry about money, so we created the Wisdometric framework to help you eradicate financial stress, generate a passive income, and build a prosperous retirement strategy. So when it comes to whether you can open a individual 401k and a solo 401k, let's start with what is a solo 401k. As an entrepreneur, you have lots of benefits as far as your ability to control a lot of your life and your time. Even though you may not feel like you have a lot of personal time, you end up choosing to invest it in your business. You do have that choice, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, you have that freedom. When it comes to your retirement planning as a self-employed business owner, it becomes much more difficult to determine necessarily what to do with my money. I don't really have an employer that's going to, contribute a match, and I really don't have, that many options available as far as just the plan already kind of being there if you were an employee. Well, that's where the solo 401k would come in as an option for you. So the solo 401k is an individual 401k, and the IRS considers it an option for a self-employed business owner. So some of the benefits are just tied to the same as your traditional 401k. And what I mean is currently you're able to contribute $20,500 in the year 2022. So you have that option available, and then it traditionally goes up like $1,500 a year. Sometimes it stays up as far as the contribution limit, but currently it's $20,000 and $20,500. What you would end up then being able to do is in your solo 401k, you get to see yourself as the employee, where I have that limit, but then you also get to see yourself as the employer. And what I mean is you then get to contribute again to your own retirement as an employer, where you can do up to 25% profit sharing. And so you have the ability now to put in a contribution. I believe the max is $61,000 in a given year. And because you can now put in $61,000 in a given year, you're really able to ramp up your retirement process, because early on, most business owners are investing all of their money back into the business. They don't really have the flexibility to be able to contribute to their 401k while they're building up their business. And I understand that as well. So what you end up being able to do is, if you then create a solo 401k, you then can say, okay, well, I'm going to start contributing up to $61,000 back into my retirement plan now each year, which would give me a chance to really ramp it up quickly. Now, because, and it's sort of in the name, if you think about it, it's a solo 401k or an individual 401k. So what that means is, as this business owner, you don't have any employees. If you have employees, then you would not be able to offer a solo 401k in your company for yourself. Another thing to note is you do have the exception in the rules where your spouse is eligible. So what I mean is, even though it's a solo or an individual 401k, your spouse is able to have the same benefits. So the same benefits as in your spouse can contribute up to $20,500 per year into their retirement plan, at least in 2022. That's where the limit is at. But then as an employer, your spouse is also able to participate in profit sharing up to 25% with that same $61,000 limit. Now, when they come up with the number, basically your taxable income, as far as the 25% is concerned, it caps out at $305,000. So whether you are paying yourself a million, 2 million, 15 million, whatever you're paying yourself as an employee in your own company, the taxable income aspect, as far as figuring out the profit sharing, that's capped out at 305,000. And then we'll end there with our discussion where it's like, okay, how would I know how that income is going to be taxed in that retirement plan? Are there any tax benefits inside of a solo 401k versus a traditional 401k? And the answer to that question is going to depend on the overall choices that you're making inside of your solo 401k. And what I mean is, if you have a traditional IRA, then you're going to be putting money in pre-tax. And so that means that you're going to be able to reduce your tax burden today, but you're going to end up paying taxes when you take out the distributions when you retire. On the other end, if you have a Roth 401k inside of your solo 401k, well, now you're going to be putting in money where you don't really have a tax benefit today, because the money has already been taxed, but you'll be able to withdraw the money tax free. And so that is a choice that you would end up ultimately making. Now, if you're an entrepreneur that maybe has like a side gig where you have a traditional job as well, maybe you did it for some of the benefits, maybe you did it for the steady income, whatever the reason was, the overall amount that you're able to contribute in your solo 401k versus that traditional 401k is a limit by the person. What I mean is the amount that you're able to contribute is limited or at least combined between the two. Another way to look at it is the IRS isn't saying, well, these limits are set by the overall 401k plan that you have. They're saying these limits are set by person. So if you put $10,000 over here as an employee, then you would only be able to put the other 10,500 as an employee inside of your own personal business. You're not going to be able to put 20,500 in one employee job and then put another 20,500 inside of your other employee job. The IRS is going to consider it by person, so it's a total amount of that 20,500. Now, another benefit available inside of your solo 401k is the Ketchup Plan. So basically, this is if you're 50 or older, you have the ability to contribute an additional $6,500 to your overall retirement plan. Now, before we go into how you're able to open up your own solo 401k, if you have any overall additional questions about your retirement, then I invite you to check out my free retirement planning that works video training at obsidianwisdom.com/training. In it, I give you the entire wisdometric framework that I use for my clients to help them eradicate financial stress, generate a passive income, and build a prosperous retirement strategy. So when it comes to opening your solo 401k, the good news is you can really open this up at any brokerage. You don't really need the expertise of a financial planner, but if you did want to, then that option is obviously available to you. But you really can go online, you can open it just like if you were to choose a stock or something like that, you have the ability to just really go and open your own account. The only thing that you really need is going to be your employer identification number, and that really just confirms that you're a business. And then from there, you're able to set it up and open it. The overall fees are going to vary depending on the brokers that you go with, but it's better than some of the other plans out there. But again, there is a limit in the sense that you can't have an employee. But if you are a business owner and you're looking to ramp up your retirement savings, this is a good option that's available to you. If you have any additional questions, you can leave them in the comments and I'll come back and answer them. If you found value in this video, I just ask you to like and subscribe so that you're able to keep getting more videos like this to keep answering your retirement questions. As always, Wisdomites, remember wisdom is asking the right questions to allow yourself to get the right answers. Keep asking those questions and you will keep getting those answers. Continued blessings.